Good afternoon, guys. It's me for Jean-Jacques, and today we end week 5 discussion. God, time is going by fast. I don't know about you, but for me it has. So week 5 was very interesting, focusing primarily on motivation and also fairness and rewards, and understanding how team could work together. Um, Primarily, the motivation portion of readings was very interesting because we have been learning about a lot of um, aspect of motivations when it comes to intrinsic motivation, extrinsic motivation, and also even from Psych 101 we learn about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Maslow's hierarchy of needs consists of psychological needs, safety needs, social needs, esteem needs, and self-evaluation. That is the basic of psychology, which most of us know already. Physiological needs consist of water, food, things that your body needs to biologically function. And then the safety needs consisting of security, housing, security, etc., etc. Things that you need in order to have physical security and have not have any harm done to you, which could be a little bit flimsy, but they have their own little explanation and breakdown of it. So we have social needs. Humans are social creatures, as psychology like to emphasize. Um, we are social creatures, and we have the need to find a place that we belong, our own social space. Even if we do neglect or reject other ones, we do have a sense of belonging that we, naturally are attracted to. Then you have the esteem needs, the need to have achievement, money, to a certain extent, I'll say power, or even just having income or making income or being the top dog in that sense. Then you have the self actualization, which is more of a spiritual thing to me, in my perspective. It will be like the end when you feel like you connect yourself and you understand and you connect yourself to something bigger than just all those other needs. Now those needs have to, well, according to Maslow, you have to conquer each of them in order. So it's like the tower of needs. Round one, round two, round three. Mortal Kombat jokes. Then you have me personally. I liked McClendon's theories better. McClendon's theory was focusing on the needs of achievement, which is basic need to academic strides, the need to succeed, which is something that we all have. Then there's the need for power. The need for power, I think, was a little bit too aggressive. I think it should put the need for influence because it's more to have impact on others and to influence other people, the urge to change people. Now, put it as power, it sounds more like, like the dark side of everything, which I do agree with, but, could be toned down a little bit more for, ethical reasons. And then there's the need for affiliation, which kind of resemble Maslow's theory of social. We need to feel, we need to find acceptance from other people, and we need to naturally have that urge to be social and be accepted by others. It's natural. Furthermore, if you go into the research, which I found was very interesting but contradicting, first they identify fairness as a subjective, you know, concept in which individuals will determine, if their contribution in a team is fair and should the reward match their contribution. Now, what kind of bothered me a little bit was how they spoke about in a team, you cannot reward others higher than the other team, even if that one person is doing more than everyone else. They should all have the same grade, and or we should all have the same reward. But in a matter of jobs where it's a teamwork and jobs work in departments, because I do work in departments, and I do see that when it's like in the end of each spectrum, if an individual is performing significantly higher than his other team, and you can see that in the case of managers where they have different workloads and different skills that's necessary to do that job, then of course rewarding them higher in bonuses or whatever form of reward it would be is naturally fair. It would be fair. And those who handle like my department, verification, insurance information, and just understanding more information about the patient, obtain that information will get paid less because it's not the same set of skills and it's a certain level to it. So naturally that is gonna make more sense And that, reading actually supported my theory, my hypothesis also, and my natural instinct to it. So if I need confirmation bias, I'm going to that reading. Okay, so going to the next topic at hand, we had a discussion about whether some people believe it's appropriate to use reward to regulate behavior, and which is the essence of reinforcement theory. Reinforcement theory, and one of the biggest thing about reinforcement theory is, there is positive reinforcement, negative reinforcement, punishment, and there comes extension. Now, extension is the biggest issue, because that's when, if you stop giving reward, and that reward is expected in order for that behavior to continue, then you could see a negative withdrawal. You could see somebody actually behavior become even more negative and more aggressive, and to a certain extent, they would expect that reward, and if they don't receive that reward, then they're most likely to leave the company. So that's a very dangerous thing to play with. Yes, you can use rewards and reinforcement to, regulate behaviors, but to what extent? And what kind of reward? If I'm over here always, giving extrinsic reward to somebody for every single little thing they do, the minute I stop giving that extrinsic reward, then that person will feel some kind of negative sentiment towards that. And we do not want that to be the main regulation of that person's behavior or that person's motivation. Because at the end of the day, that individual themselves will have negative connotation every time that reward is not there. So that's the thing that they always speak about in reinforcement. Extension could have a negative impact, and that is not something that you want to be associated when it comes to handling a company, especially when the company, sometimes there's some days where you all do bad and we don't hit the goal that we require, and that bonus cannot be obtained. Now, for some individuals, yes, they will see as okay, we need to get up, work harder, and get that done. But not everyone thinks that way, and as a whole team, the whole department is not gonna approach it that way, because each individuals think differently. But if you keep, if you find a way to make it more of an intrinsic reward, and using that intrinsic reinforcement, something that can make them feel better and internally, and they feel like they haven't reached that goal, then you could actually limit the negative, feedback when they realize they haven't hit that goal, because it's an intrinsic motivation, something that's internalized, and that individual could be influenced. They could be motivated externally by even a speech. Hey, we didn't hit the reward, but you guys are doing great. Next time we could push it this way, this way, this way, this way. Instead of saying, hey, we didn't hit the reward, no money for you. So, and that individual may have counted on that money, or may have been expecting that money to even, pay off certain debt or have a certain time off. And so they would just see it like, that ruined everything. And you might see some relapse in it. That's actually could be research too. But yeah, that's how I felt. Week 5 reading was great, actually. And I learned a lot. So that was very interesting.